Good morning, everyone. It is just after 5:15 and we are eating breakfast. It's the turnaround day today for us and the staff and crew. We are currently in Reykjavik. I think we're docked. There you can see, I don't know how well you can see. But I was just expecting like pastries for breakfast since it's not even 6 o'clock yet. But they were really accommodating and just opened up the hot food, so that's really nice. We are officially docked in Reykjavik. So because this is a back-to-back cruise, we have to wear an in-transit sticker, and that will help us get through the port area easier and not have to go through security. Well, we still have to go through security, but not customs and all of that. I'm not exactly sure. But that will help us when we get back from our Golden Circle tour to just be able to go straight on the ship. And with the Golden Circle tour, we are going to Gullfoss Waterfall, and then we're going to see a geyser that erupts 7 stories tall, and then we're going to Thingvillir National Park, but that's where the tectonic plates meet. The Eurasian one, I think that's what it's called, and the North American one, and you can like walk between the two continents. We have stopped in a little town for about 15 minutes. There's a few little stores here, there's a bakery, and then there's also a washroom for people who need to use it.
Why would we have built such a road in 1907? That was because the Danish king, that was then the king of Iceland, was going to visit us, and he wanted to take the same tour that you are taking today. And he was going to have 250 people with him. He was gonna ride on a carriage. He was even had his little toy, called automobile at that time, with him, and he wanted to take all of this with him to Geyser and Gullfoss, where we are going. So we had to make this road. The story is that, of course, he drove some of this way, but most of the time he just sat on a horse. The budget for this road was about 35% of the government expenditure for that year. So that probably makes it the most expensive road constructions ever made.
That was cool. So I am currently be inside a volcano watching this geyser. I think that's really cool. We are now at the Gullfoss Waterfall. There's obviously the waterfall, gift shops, cafe, restrooms. We have about 45 to 50 minutes here, and it was about like a 10-minute drive from the geyser. So there are two paths you can take. The left one takes you up to the falls. This one with the stairs takes you down, I think, all the way to the bottom. I'm not too sure how far we go, but there are 110 steps down. That is so pretty over there. We stopped for lunch, and lunch was delicious, and there's also a church here, and I have been told by our tour guide that this church has an escape route because at the time it was built there was lots of fighting and division, and I wasn't really listening, so I asked my dad, I'm like, what? Because I heard church, an escape room, and then I heard them put together. It's very rare that a church has an escape room, and then he didn't say, the tour guide didn't say why there was an escape room. So I'm gonna go check it out. Tour guide said there was lots of like fighting and division in the time it was built, and that's why. What was the fighting and division over?
Well, in the beginning of the settlement, Iceland was made up of clans.
Okay.
And the clans were often fighting in between themselves, and chieftains, they often had to, if one farmer had been wronged by another person, he could go to his chieftain and say, this guy stole from me, can you get some compensation? So then he went after the other guy, but that guy went to his chieftain and said, you need to help me, and then the chieftains fought. So there was constant warfare
Okay.
in the beginning. So this escape tunnel, by escaping to the church, you had a sanctuary within the church, because they did not want to be banished by the Pope.
Okay.
But also over there you see the ruins. There was the main settlement, a huge village here in the Middle Ages, and it was very comfortable to travel to the church, because you have to travel often many days out, many times per day for praying and mass and so on. So not having to go into winter clothes during the winter to get to the church, that was very comfortable.
Yeah. Where is it? Like
the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's downstairs where the museum is.
I was gonna say, there's that building that's next to this, and it sounds like somebody's in there doing prayer, but it sounds deep. Like it sounds like it's a cave in there or something like that.
Yeah, it's a CD that is being played. It's an old Gregorian chant.
That's what it sounded like.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
This chant has survived in documents from the 12th century.
Wow.
And then we had a bishop who has now been recognized as the patron saint of Iceland by the Pope.
That's awesome.
And this house bears his name as the house of Saint Thorlok, and it has was used as a church and in fact cathedral in the 16th century when the church here burned down.
So is it just like a tunnel, or like what exactly is in that?
Well, it's our newest house. It's a replica, but it's built on top of the ruins that were there.
Okay.
So it's exactly like the houses were in the 16th century for those who were well-to-do.
Awesome.
And so it gives you a pretty fair picture of how it was when it was used as a church in the 16th century. And because when the church burned down, they managed to rescue the shrine with the bones of the patron saint, and that shrine was kept there, so it was very much used.
Understood.
Mm.
Awesome.
Sort of on the right side of this mountain that we have here is the North American plate. On the left side of these mountains, you have a mountain there in distance. There's a steam coming up. That mountain is a central volcano, and in this volcano, in this mountain, all three of the plates here in Iceland meet. There is a mountain here to the left at 10 o'clock that has a sort of like a fall in it, in the middle of it. These are two plates meeting. So you have there the Eurasian plate and this local Icelandic plate meeting, and then the North American plate in a short distance away. So here we can see this continental drift, or the plate tectonic activities taking place on dry land, and to have such rift valleys on dry land is not very common. Most of these rift valleys are on the sea floor. How this has been moving, and the area, the Rift Valley, is basically the space between the plates. So the plates separate, and the area in between is filled, and sometimes it is not filled, and then it sinks. Other time it's filled with lava. And then we have these ravines being formed on the surface. And as we drive here through the area, you see quite many of these ravines. And we will be walking down one of them at our next location. Now we are leaving the Rift Valley and driving up to the North American plate. You can see here on both sides of the road these ravines, how they have been breaking apart. It's quite obvious that we are here. Isn't that obvious? The ship is here, and we drove this road here. This was our comfort stop. Then we went like this all the way up here. This is the hot spring area. Oh, wow. Here is the Golden Waterfall. Then we went back like this to where we had lunch. It was around here. And then we drove like here, and we are here. Yeah. And here you can see how the fissures are tearing apart. This is just a very small gap, but later on we will see a bigger one. First of all, the cliffs down there were at one time adjacent to the cliffs up here. So in earthquakes here, 2008. This here started to shake up, and then gradually the earth disappeared. So they had to build this bridge here. So it was like down there, all the way up. But then just little shaking, and it goes. And some of these ravines are quite deep. When I was a kid, we could play around here everywhere, climb the cliffs and do everything. Now everything is forbidden. Slope here is man-made. So they didn't know that until they started to dig into it, and it turned out that it has a gravel from the floor of the lake, and so this is a man-made slope. And why would they have a man-made slope there? This was from the time of the beginning of the Parliament, because they discovered that this is where sound carries best in the area. Usually I take people over there and I stand there, but we are so few, that's okay. So that's why they have it like this. Another thing that you should notice, that there's a river from here. This river didn't run here. They moved the river so it would run because they knew that they would need a running water in the Parliament area. So the waterfall that you saw Everyone in Iceland says you should try
the chocolate flavored licorice, so I bought some to take home, and I'm really excited to try it. I'm just gonna try it at home, but this tour has been amazing. I think that's the end, but I highly recommend the Golden Circle tour, and I'm so glad you got a chance to experience it. It was super easy getting back into the ship area. All I had to do was show my in-transit sticker, and they just let me through without having to go through security or check-in or anything like that. And this is what it looks like walking back. Here they're getting all the luggage ready. That's where you would go pick up your luggage from when you get off the ship. And it's not one of those things where you have to climb up, but they just have a regular gangway here. After we got back on the ship, we went to our muster stations, which is where you go in case there's an emergency. Ours didn't change since our room didn't change, and then I went to check out the canvas painting by you. And I wasn't really interested in any of them, and I wasn't really sure if I'd have enough room to take it home, and it was $35. But the main reason is, like I said, I wasn't interested in any of them. And then we went for dinner, and then we went back to our room for a bit, and now we're at the Welcome Aboard show. And like I've said, we have a new cruise director. I know there's been some crew turnaround, so that's why I wanted to go to this one tonight, even though we already went to the one at the last cruise. I went to the Welcome Aboard show, and it was very similar to last time. There was a new cruise director, I've told you that. I got to see what she looks like. Her name is Elizabeth, and she seems really awesome, just like Jamie. So I know we're going to have a great cruise, even if we have a different cruise director. And then there was one of the cruise director staff left. So I wanted to see the new person who came, and he came from the Philippines. And then the dance, production cast, did it like last time, so did Angel. And there are 3 shows put on by the production team, same 3 as last time. Not a big deal, obviously it's a different cruise. I don't know who else is going to be performing. I know Rietta Austin left in Akureyri. I heard the acrobatic team is still here. Sorry, I climbed the stairs. And I don't know about the magician or the comedian. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else we have for entertainment. And there is a game show in the Bliss Lounge tonight, but I'm going to go to bed because I've been awake since 4:20 this morning. So I will see you tomorrow in Akureyri.